All right, so we got more 1182 spoilers, and we have an update from Zhoniin on the future of the spoilers. So he said, I can confirm that there won't be a summary from him this week, and I don't think there will be any for a while, just in case. But since we're coming off a break for the holidays in Japan, and we'll also have another break next week, this time just from One Piece, I'll leave you with a couple more details about the chapter while we wait. So that's fine. If you guys are relatively new to the spoiler scene, this kind of happens every other year. The leakers get some heat on them, they lay low for a while, and then they come back, and then things are kind of normal for like another year or so. So while we won't be getting full summaries of the chapter like what we've been getting for a while, we're still going to get more details like we are today, which is fine. It just shows us how spoiled we were. I guess we just need to be grateful for what we have. So let me just quickly go over the spoilers that we got yesterday to catch you guys up to speed. Sanji and Zoro are up, injured, but not completely defeated. Loki combines his lightning powers with Ragnir's ice, using several attacks. Imu counters with fireballs. Summers and Killingham are indeed stronger. Summers, for example, carries a giant ship on his back all by himself. They try to continue their plan to kidnap the children. Killingham creates his strongest creation yet, MMA, aka Sleeptid, using the fear of his own dreams. Zaza, the rain goddess, whom the world government fears most. Zaza is so strong that she easily floods an entire village. Zoro and Sanji prepare for the final fight against Killingham and Summers. So let's get a little more into Rain God Zaza, because Zhoniin actually gave us a full description of what she looks like. So the Rain God Zaza, onomatopoeia for rain sound, pronounced Zaza in Japanese, is a long-haired woman with 4 arms. Her body is transparent and filled with water. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Opera GX. So when I'm making YouTube videos, I usually have like way too many tabs open, whether it's manga pages, anime episodes, anime news, or other social medias. It becomes a little hectic, and Opera GX helps keep that chaos under control. First, it has a built-in ad blocker, so you're not getting hit with pop-ups and random visual noise while you're trying to lock in. Then you've got profiles, which is pretty amazing. You can separate your work setup from your regular browsing, so when it's time to research or edit or study or whatever you're doing, you're not dragging all your distractions with you. Workspaces are another big one. I can keep one workspace for video research and one for YouTube stuff, and another for personal browsing, and switch between them without everything becoming one giant tab disaster. And if you're like me and you still end up with a million tabs open, tab islands let you group related tabs together, label them, and even color code them so you can find everything instantly. So guys, if your browser setup feels messy and distracting, check out Opera GX. You can download it by checking the link in my description. Thanks, guys. Behind her is a white ring / circle, similar to the one behind Imu, but without eyes, or like an L's. She wears a robe and her face is covered by a veil, with only her eyes visible. She also wears a cone-shaped hat decorated with jewels, some of which hang from it. So that's a pretty grand design for Rain Goddess Zaza. I mean, she has a more grand design than Nika does. And as for the statement about Zaza being what the world government fears the most, well, apparently that wasn't entirely accurate, because Zhoniin said that since it's not the world government itself that fears the Rain God Zaza, those who truly fear Zaza are the celestial dragons like Summers and Killingham. And why? Well, think about where the celestial dragons live and you'll find the answer. So that's a nice clarification there. It's not the world government itself, it's just the celestial dragons, which makes sense because this is Killingham himself manifesting Zaza from his, devil fruit ability. So them fearing it has something to do with where they live. So they live in Marischwa on top of the Red Line. And you can take this many different ways, I suppose. So it's up for you to decide. I mean, maybe we'll find out in the chapter if we get it this week. Maybe we'll get it tomorrow or Friday. I will cover it as soon as we get it. So subscribe for that if you haven't already. It could have something to do with flooding, because, Vegapunk said that the previous world is covered in water. Because Imu did something, maybe spamming the world with Uranus in combination with other devil fruits or something raised the sea level to where the previous civilization on Earth is just completely submerged at this point. And we assume that that's why the celestial dragons live so high up on the red line, to basically survive this indefinitely, because it's going to happen again. Or at least Imu and the Gorosei want it to happen again. But I guess it has something to do with that, maybe. Now, we were also talking about candidates for who Zaza could be, or who could have the Zaza devil fruit, if it is a thing. I'm assuming it is a thing. The 4 gods that were mentioned in Skypiea, I'm assuming all have devil fruits in existence right now, because if Sun God Nika has a devil fruit out there, it only makes sense that the Earth, Rain, and Forest God also do. Although that doesn't necessarily have to be the case, it just seems likely. Now, if it's not Dragon, like we talked about in the previous video, who seems to be one of the top candidates, it could either be just some random character out there that we haven't met yet, or a character that we've already met and we just didn't know they had this devil fruit, or, you know, the devil fruit just is out there and it hasn't found its owner yet, or the owner hasn't found it. And maybe Nami could get this devil fruit. That would be crazy because, you know, she does rain stuff with Zeus, I suppose. Or it could be Vivi.
Yeah, Vivi is kind of like a wild card, but since this is like a goddess, you know, rather than a god, I wouldn't be surprised if a woman winds up getting it. And like we talked about yesterday, that doesn't necessarily mean that a woman does have to get it. It could be with Dragon, and he's just a guy that has a goddess devil fruit, such as we saw with Bonnie and Nika. But I don't know, maybe Vivi or Nami wind up getting this devil fruit later on or something, and then that gives them some kind of crazy power up in the final arc of the series, and, you know, it brings all the gods together, because I'm assuming that that's going to happen too. We're going to see all of the gods come together at some point.
But other than the Zaza stuff, we do have some more spoilers here. So Imu tells Nidhogg that he's a traitor. Okay, another kind of ambiguous thing. Take for this what you will. I guess this means that whoever had the Nidhogg fruit during the Void Century was originally aligned with Imu and then decided not to align with them. Kind of similar to what happened with Lily, I suppose. It's confirmed that Ragnir is a hammer that ate the mythical Risu no Mi model Ratatoskr ice squirrel. So if you're thrown off by that, totally understandable, because it seems like this was already confirmed months ago, but it actually wasn't. We just assumed that that was the case because that's how things work in One Piece. And yeah, it turns out that, yeah, Ragnir the Hammer ate the Ratatoskr mythical Zoan fruit. And don't worry about how inanimate objects eat devil fruits. It's not explained, and it's probably not going to be explained. And lastly, Oda gave the Mexican fans a nod this week, apparently, with an attack by Imu called Zitzimiddle, which I'm definitely pronouncing wrong. I'm sorry. So this is a part of Aztec mythology, and they're depicted as skeletal female figures wearing skirts, often with skull and crossbone designs. And in post-conquest descriptions, they are often described as demons or devils. So that lines up with Imu. I don't know if this ties into the greater lore of the Void Century or what's going on with Imu, or it's just something cool that Oda wanted to throw in there. But yeah, that's it for the spoilers today. The next time we go over this chapter will be the actual chapter itself. So let me know what you think about this in the comments, guys. And if you like the video, give it a like, and have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.